Good morning, everyone. Rob Lukey with our Capital Group and ShopProp Realty. Wanted to take a second to go over the S&P Case-Shiller Index. As most of us know, the S&P Case-Shiller is the most widely used index to track home prices, and it's something that obviously we've been basically commenting on since the inception of the S&P Case-Shiller Index. And if you take a look at it, we mentioned over and over again, and you can go back and look at some of the prior updates, and you'll see that I mentioned that I thought we would see a V-bottom recovery, and that's exactly what we saw happen actually in the home price index. Even though we're seeing a pretty big increase in properties and so forth, you have to remember that even though we're seeing this increase in price, we're still only back up to the 2004, 2005 price levels in most markets. So we still might have some more room to go. We are starting to see it start to slow a little bit. And although we saw an increase of year over year of actually close to 20% in some areas, but all of the 20 cities were up. And I'll show you I'll show you that composite in a second. This is the 10 and 20 city day composite. You'll see that they're back up to the 2004, some markets in the 2005 area. Where we currently are licensed and doing business, our main focus is in the LA area. LA actually saw an increase of 19.2% year over year change, and Seattle showed 11.9. I think basically that skewed. Some markets saw a bigger increase in those markets, specific like the Kirkland, Bellevue, parts of Seattle, parts of Renton saw a higher increase than, for example, Kent, some other parts of Seattle. Everett maybe did not see that type of return. But obviously this type of increase can't continue as far as year over year, or we'd be back up to 2007 levels in the next year and a half to 2 years. I do still anticipate a move up. I mentioned that as we get to this level, we're going to see it start to get choppy up in here. So we might see at least a little bit more inventory coming on the market as prices increase a little bit more, and we have been seeing that already. To go on to our Capital Group, remember, if you are interested in buying properties that maybe you like the idea of investing in the market, but you don't have the time to research, you can always partner with us and invest with us. And to see how we've done in the past, you can always go into our past performance. If you type in OCG and welcome, you can follow our properties that we've bought and sold for us and our partners, and the profit we've been able to generate in a down and an up market. If you decide you want to open an account, you can open an account, and then it will look like similar to a stock account. When you log on, you'll have the properties that you're currently in. These are, for example, the properties that I'm currently in. Any type of passive orders or properties that I'm interested in watching. Here's some properties that I'm interested in watching. I can click on details, see what's going on with the property, where they're at. So, for example, if I wanted to click on this particular property, I would get an updated idea of what the estimated rehab is, what the estimated profit, and if I go ahead and move down, I can see what's going on with the property via notes. 717 properties pending, is 711. And also, the nice thing about that is that obviously you can follow it in the MLS as well. If you return to your main dashboard, you can obviously click on search for available properties, and you can go ahead and the majority of people don't want to go through every single property, so you can click on only hot properties, and you can search and then see the properties that we consider to be hot for any upcoming auction. This happens to be California, but obviously you can do it for Washington as well. You can see those properties that have opening bids, where we think the value is, what we think the rehab is going to be, and so forth. That's as far as doing that, you can either do it as an end user where you buy that individual property, or the majority of our partners, what they do is they simply put in a passive order. They'll say invest $150,000 and the next whatever they wanted to break it in. If they say OCG's discretion, we tend to try to get our clients, our partners diversified into maybe 4 or 5 different properties, but you can pick, for example, maybe you only want to buy 2 properties, and maybe you only want to be in, you can say either at OCG's discretion, or you can go ahead and uncheck that box and I only want to buy in King County. And you can go ahead and then agree to the terms, place the order, and then that'll be a passive order that goes into our queue, and you'll be filled on a first in, first filled basis. So to take a look at our properties that we're currently in, this is property in Des Moines. It actually, we took possession, but we're going to have a rehab on it. This particular property, taking possession today, we'll list probably tomorrow. This property, we're doing a rehab. This property we just finished rehab on, have it going pending today. We have a full price offer on it where we're listed at, but we don't have the granted on, so we might want to give it a little bit more time. Mountain Lake Terrace is in the middle of rehab. These 2 are obviously pending. Issaquah is pending at $300,000, and then Orcas is pending at $319,000. Okay, well, and to talk about one other thing real brief, if you are just looking at buying a property in the regular market, take a look at ShopProp Realty. Remember, if you're buying a property, it makes sense to get the chunk of commission back. You can take a look at the math. What you'll see, if you're buying a $500,000 piece of property, normally 3% would go, and that if you're a buyer, normally 3% would go to your agent. If you're using ShopProp and we write up the offer and you do an inspection, you'll save $12,005. That's money back in your pocket that would normally go into your your agent. If you decided to, and excuse me, we're down here. For buying a property, you could save as much as $13,005 with one service. If you're selling and then buying a home, it's even more significant. You would obviously could save. It could cost you as much as $60,000 when you're buying and selling a home, and you would save obviously close to $25,000, and that's just if you were selling and buying a $500,000 piece of property. So anyhow, take a look. You can also click on our home page. We have something regarding what the Department of Justice is saying regarding rebates. If you click on this section, you'll see that the Department of Justice of the United States is really pushing people to at least take a look at trying to get those rebates because they're so significant to the transaction, and it saves buyers and sellers so much money. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks a lot.